All right, I hit record. All right. Let's get into her. I like Corey from NoCell better, right? Corey, can you give us a quick background on who you are and maybe how NoCell started? Hold it. How in the heck do you have time for 7 kids and start a company? Well, yeah. I mean, I really like the technology, and it reminds me, kind of a sad story. In New York State, there was a truck driver who got convicted of, I think it was vehicular manslaughter, because they proved in court he was watching porn on his laptop. And I mistakenly thought this would be really easy to find. And when I Googled, truck driver watching porn on his laptop, I was inundated with similar cases. And I mean, as a man, I was disgusted. But NoCell would greatly help in that regard, would it not? All right, so let's get back to NoCell, because that was kind of a rant. I just think some of us men are pretty disgusting. But It is. It's today's epidemic. And I'm sure we've all heard of the Florida case that with a nuclear verdict of about $1 billion, and that involved a trucking company from Quebec as well. And both commercial drivers, as I understand that crash, both commercial drivers' cell phones had a lot to do with that fatal crash. Yeah. So explain again. If I was to get that hockey puck, it's white. It's the wrong color for a hockey puck. But if I was to so if I was to get a NoCell puck, explain to me what am I doing, and then what are the steps that I would incorporate within my company? See. And what I like about that, as you were speaking, the name Joe Fried or Joe Freed came into my mind. Um, and for those listeners and watchers, I've never met Joe, but I've seen him on a few talk shows, and he is a prosecuting attorney that specializes in nuclear verdicts of trucking companies. And wouldn't this technology give the defense a lot of ammunition to help navigate? Yeah, right. And that was a question that came to my mind when John was asking his. Could I not just bring another cell phone with me? Especially if it's a company issued cell phone, most drivers would have their own personal cell phone. So, yeah. And I wonder if the passenger was female. Well, I mean, we hear all the time about off route miles, and I'm sure it still happens that long distance drivers have friends that they want to go see. And if it's, within 100 miles of my route, what's the harm? But what else about NoCell? So that was pretty interesting that you can detect how many cell phones are actually in the cab. What what is the radius around the puck that it works for? Yeah, and that would be cool. And as you were speaking there, I'm thinking again how my mind works. Well, if I'm in a truck stop, are you going to pick up cell phones from the guy sleeping beside the next truck over from me? And of course, it doesn't work because it's turned off because I'm not going above the speed limit. So, right. See, I was going to say we're open to bribes, but Now you said, go ahead, John. So that explains one to many. Did you have another question that you wanted to pay John to ask? I don't know how I'm getting left out of this payment stuff, but John, you got to take me golfing. Corey, yeah. Well, and I was going to add that when I drive and I hear that stupid phone alerts, it does. It's so hard not to look at the phone, and so by NoCell eliminating that, you've taken that temptation away and simplified my life. Yeah, yeah. That would be awesome. Well, and it makes total sense to me, at least in captives, because as you say, they do have a little more control. And well, even the insureds have more skin in the game if they're part of a captive, you know. And let's be, uh, yeah, and this isn't exactly new technology. When was the company started? Yeah. So we're talking, sorry, what's that? 7 years old? Yeah. And the way to, well, and you just brought up an important point. It works on both Android and Apple devices. Yeah. Corey, so you can speak Canadian, eh? You can put it in kilometers. And where did you play up here? Nice. Lethbridge is, I, every time somebody says Lethbridge, I just remember the huge train trestle. That's just that site. All right. So, Corey, getting back to NoCell, what else do we need to know about the technology? Sure. Like, yeah. And of course, we've got a link in the show notes if you want to reach out to Corey and NoCell. And unfortunately, it's not an affiliate link. So don't be afraid to click it. But I'll speak to Corey after the thing and see if we can set up an affiliate. But Corey, I just want to say thanks so much because John and I, as you know, are deeply involved in safety in North America. And I really believe the no cell technology can do just take us to the next level and prevent crashes. And if we can prevent crashes, we're going to save lives. And it, And I appreciate it because I drive every day on these roads. So, Corey from NoCell, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much. And I encourage you all to reach out to Corey and see if you can make your fleet just a little safer. Thanks, Corey. Now, don't go anywhere because I'll hit finish.